What's going on, guys? Dead back again, here to bring you another video. Today I'm going to be doing my top 5 WTF moments for The Walking Dead Season 5, Episode 3, titled 4 and a Roof. Number 5, Gabriel reveals his backstory. Basically, it went down exactly like it did in the comics. Again, Fear the Hunters, Volume 11. It basically explains that he locked people out of his church when the apocalypse started, and they all died outside screaming his name, and he felt really bad about that. And he confessed his sins to God. That is essentially what happened in the comic book story. I feel like now that he's not keeping a big secret, Rick and the rest of the group will definitely feel a little bit better about him. And realizing that this guy, even though it is a bad thing that he did, it is not the worst thing, because Rick has obviously done a lot worse. So I thought that was a very interesting part of the episode. Number 4, Abraham versus Rick. Now, we definitely got a lot of this in the comic books, but in this episode, it was the first episode where you really get to see the tension between Abraham and Rick as characters, because they're both strong people, and they're both leaders of their own groups. I feel like, the fact that Abraham is all about his mission, all about DC, and trying to override Rick in every situation really is pissing Rick off, and it would piss me off too. But the fact that Abraham has now found out, in self-help, that the cure is it's a sham, it's fake, I feel like it will not be such a burden to Rick anymore. Obviously, in the Walking Dead Volume 12, Life Among Them, it was when Alexandria was introduced. You can get this at your local library. Abraham and Rick, of course, had a really nice bonding moment because of what happened with the whole... It was a situation, I believe it was it this book? No, actually, my bad. It was actually the book before this one, if I'm not mistaken. Let me go grab that really quick. It's actually Volume 10, called What We've Become. Now, what happens in this episode is the same thing that happens to Rick and Carl, with the men trying to violate Carl, and basically Rick bites his throat out. So that is the exact same thing that happened, except in this issue they actually go and get Morgan. So it's a very interesting issue. Sorry I mixed them up there a second ago, I did not mean to do that, but this is basically essentially what you would be searching for. You can also get this at your local library, as I did. So yeah, that is pretty cool. Again, wink. Number 3 would be Tainted Meat. Now, this scene is directly straight out of the comic books, with Dale yelling, tainted meat, you're eating tainted meat. That is exactly what happened to Bob in the show. As his foot was cooking over the grill, he was screaming, tainted meat. And Gareth said, I said shut up, and kicked him right in the face. So, that was definitely pretty cool. Like I said, straight out of the comics, Volume 12, Fear the Hunters. So Volume 10 and 12 is essentially what happened in the whole thing. Volume 10 is actually when they revealed that Eugene does not have a cure, so they revealed it before Fear the Hunters. So in the show, it takes place after Fear the Hunters, essentially. So that was definitely pretty interesting, but I really liked how it was straight from the comics, and it was definitely amazing. Just amazing. So, let's move on. Number 2 would be Rest in Peace, Bob. Obviously, Bob got killed off in this episode because the hunters ate his leg and he was bitten on the arm. So they basically had to kill him and, put him down because he died. Because, obviously the fever killed him and then he was going to turn. And it was a really amazing scene where Tyrese had to put him down. He very calmly jabbed a knife into the back of his head, kind of like I'm about to demonstrate now with my hand and this blade here. Just like that. So this is, I didn't actually do that. This is a retracting blade. It goes into the blade. Just to let you guys know, I'm not doing anything wrong here. Just like, yeah. So it's pretty interesting. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Anyways, it was basically very slow. It was just like, that's all Tyrese did. It was just a very slow, calm death. I thought it was really interesting how it was handled. The fact that Abraham couldn't kill people, he had to do this to Bob, and I feel like it was pretty great, because, Bob was a great character, and I really enjoyed him on the show, and he definitely was brought in to have the very interesting story, since, of course, Dale was killed off in season too, and this all happened to Dale in the comic books, the whole Hunter scenario. So yeah, that was definitely pretty cool. My number one WTF moment is the Hunter's death. Now, this scene was handled extremely well. Again, exactly like Fear the Hunters, it is exactly how it went down. You know, obviously Gareth got his fingers shot off, and then Rick made a promise in episode 1 that he said, "I'm going to kill you with a machete." In this volume, this did not happen in the show, but it was really great art by Charlie Adler. And it was just this whole standout of Rick here. I showed this in my last thing, but he basically says, if you can read that, it says, hold him down, actually. So he was talking about Chris, and he was essentially, and then they cut to the next page, and all it is just, you see the church, you see weapons, all bloody, all brutal, and they had killed the Hunters one by one, individually, brutally mauling them. And you can see them there tossing them into the grass and burning them, I guess. So, yeah, and then you have this really cool shot of Andrea. You have Rick. You have Gabriel in the background. He's crying. And then you have Abraham and Michonne. And you see it all there. The light is kind of bright. Let me just stop that for a second. And then Gabriel's in the back there. So, yeah, it's definitely a great issue. Definitely pick this up if you want to read the events if you want to read the events you saw on TV instead of watching them, you can read them in this issue. You can get this at your local library or local comic shop. I've rented every other issue from the library, but I actually own this one just to talk about it because it's a really great issue. It's definitely one of the better ones of The Walking Dead. So, yeah, it's pretty awesome. Well, guys, that is it for my Walking Dead 503 Top 5 WTF Moments, and it was definitely a great episode, great follow-up to the second episode, which is entitled Strangers. From this point, it got to a really nice start of the series. I kind of don't feel that way about the next 2 episodes, which I will explain in my next 2 WTF Moments, which will, number 4 will be up today as well, alongside this one, obviously, and then, number 5 and 6 will be up tomorrow, Sunday. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this top 5 moments. And, yeah, if you did, be sure to leave a like and comment, favorite, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff. I will see you guys later.